Number 3. There we go. Number 3. Almost flipped you off there. Hey, I'm Devin.
And I'm Mary Kate.
And we're picking up pieces.
A channel all about board game pieces.
And how to pick them up. And then today, we're not in our usual studio area, as you can see. Kind of weird that I call my home a studio area, but we're actually right now visiting family, my in-laws or her parents.
And we've actually been traveling a lot this summer. We just got here. We were visiting Devin's family.
Yep.
Before that, we were at Origins. Even before that, we'd gone to visit some friends for a wedding.
Yeah. So it's been all over the area, just everywhere. And so due to that, we thought it'd be a good time to give you guys a top 10 list on travel board games. This is actually, I think, our first top 10 list. We've done top 5s, but now, top 10. We're big boys and girls now.
Yeah, and we're giving top 10 travel board games that we think are great to travel with. We don't always follow our own advice.
Yes.
Saying that we brought the massive game of Thunder Road with us.
Yeah. Never ever listen to travel games. It's like always like, oh, the easy to throw in, but I'm always bringing big boys with me. So
always. And I guess you want to bring travel games if you're flying places.
If you're flying places, that's a good thing. So this list is very negligible unless you're actually flying or you actually do care whenever you're driving places. What games you bring.
A giant bag of board games?
If you feel that way, go watch another one of our videos. If you're not going to go watch another one of our videos, this is a very important list and you need to be sticking in and watching it. So let's actually start it off with our number 10, which is actually a debate.
Yeah.
So what you go for it.
So my pick for a number 10 travel game is Lost Cities.
My pick for number 10 is Longboard. The rest of the list we agree on,
yeah.
But this one is so close to each other. So if you haven't played Lost Cities or Longboard, they're both by Rainer Knizia, which is one of our favorite board game designers.
And they're both games where you're putting out cards in particular numerical orders based off of the color of the cards.
Yeah, they both have base mechanics of set collection, of you trying to get the cards in the right color boards or cards in the right color, I don't know, city. Very loose thematically with Lost Cities. And then also hand management.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and talk about Lost Cities, how that's implemented there, and I'll talk about how it's implemented with Longboard.
So I really enjoy Lost Cities. So in Lost Cities, you have your hand of cards, and on your turn, you can draw 2 cards. So you can draw cards from either your discard pile, your opponent's discard pile, or out of the deck. And then you play 1 card and you discard a card into the top of your discard pile. Yeah. So you can easily see the sets that your opponent is collecting. And so it becomes kind of this, all right, I have this card. Do I choose to discard it because it's not useful to me, or do I choose to keep it in my hand because it's useful to my opponent, and if I put it out, they will take it and play it in their sets. Yeah. And so it kind of becomes this, what do I want to discard? What do I want to keep? And when am I going to actually start playing cards versus hold on to them and hope I get a lower number that I can put down first?
Yeah. And with Longboard, you're actually making a bunch of beach boards, and you have to make 4 of them with cards ascending order, and one of them has to go up to the 7th card in order to the game to end. But with this, you don't have a hand. Instead, it's public knowledge. Whenever you draw a card, you just play it face down in front of the boards that you are collecting.
In your supply.
Which everyone gets to see. And so whenever on your turn, you get to do 3 actions. Either you can draw a card and put it in your supply, you can play a card from your supply to your boards, or you can actually swap one of your cards in your supply for one of equal or greater or lesser value from another player.
Close.
Go ahead.
You drawing a card is an action and playing a card is an action, and you can do 2 actions on your turn.
Yeah, 2 actions, and then again the swapping is one of the actions.
Yep.
So that's how you do Longboard, and so it's very different because it's Lost Cities is more like hidden knowledge, because it's your hand like a normal card game, where Longboard, it's very out open in the public. And historically, Mary Kate is way better at hand management or set collection games than I am. At least like any of these games, she's whooped my butt in. besides longboard.
I don't,
Longboard clicks with me
I don't
automatically.
like longboard as much. Because in Lost Cities, you get to make the decision of what your opponent can see and what they know and what cards are available to them. Whereas in Longboard, if you draw a card and you have nothing you can play and you draw a second card, and that second card is something that you would play if you could, or that your opponent would play, they're just going to take it. And then all your turns have been useless because they've just taken advantage of you taking the time to draw the cards, which is frustrating to me.
Obviously, Kate is very passionate about that. So it's just the decision point comes at different points for Lost Cities and also for Longboard, even though they're both very closely related. Again, Lost Cities you draw and then you put down, so it's all about what you discard. Longboard, it's when you decide to start playing your cards and when to steal other people's cards. You want to be strategic when you're drawing and when you're not drawing. And I think that just kind of came like naturally because I'm able to see all the knowledge of what everyone has, where in Lost Cities it's more hidden, you have to be guessing. And so it's just at different points of when you have to make those decisions. And so I like the longboard. Obviously, I do better at that.
You just have less control over what your opponent can do, and that is what I enjoy less about it. Whereas in Lost Cities, you have more control.
I would disagree. It's just the control is at a different point, and the point is more attractive to me. So obviously we disagree on that. And you guys can then tell us which one you agree with. And this video is not even straight up about Lost Cities and Longboard, but that's our number 10 because they're both really tiny games and easy to travel with. Yeah. And also by Ryan and Canencia. Bless Ryan and Canencia. So that's our number 10. Let's go to number 9, which is actually probably our biggest game, but I think it still fits within the travel category of this list.
It's like big.
Yeah, it's like maybe like a normal like roll and write size, a little bit thicker, but it's not a roll and write. It is land versus sea, which is actually a tile placement game. We've talked about this before in our mechanic talk, which we said is a series, and then we've only had one video in that series. You're welcome. So land versus sea is just you're drawing it. One play is the land, one play is the sea, and whenever you're drawing a tile, you take it to your hand. You have 2 to pick from, and one of them you place down. It's been a while since we played it, where you connecting a sea body together, or you connecting the land body together. So ultimately, anytime you play something down, it's always going to affect you as the sea player and the other player as a land. And so you're trying to strategically make your sea close so you can get points, and the other players at the same time trying to make the land close and only get points. And this is a game we've actually brought with us a lot.
With a decent amount.
Even though we haven't as of late. It's just a little bit older game in our collection. Like for us, not as in how old it is. It's not an old game. But like I bring a lot actually here to visit Kate's family because me and her dad likes to play that game together. And it gets very heated. He's pretty good at board games. He takes forever to think. Watch him be listening and come in here and dex me right in the face.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. He's a teddy bear. So that's the land versus sea. Well, I think our only tile placement game maybe on the list.
Yes.
So if you want a tile placement game that's easy to transport, land versus sea, that's where you gotta go.
And so next is our party game on the list, which is Just One.
At number 8.
At number 8. I should have said that first.
It'd be what it be. All right.
Just One is a really popular party game. The box is pretty small, and it can play up to 5, 7.
I think 7 or 8. We should have known that. All right, go ahead.
Oh, well. It'll pop up here. And you can see
I both said it. Right. Go ahead.
And so Just One is a cooperative party game. The person who's basically the person who has to guess puts up a little card. It has some words on it. They pick a number. Everyone else can see what word that is. Yeah. They can't. Everyone then has to write that word on their little tiny whiteboards. Yeah. The person who's closes their eyes, and they all show their words to each other. Now, the catch is there can only be one of each word, just one. And so if multiple people pick the same word, they have to get erased and they're removed. So then only the words that were one are left. And the person who's guessing can look at all those hints to try to guess the word that's on their card in front of them.
Yeah. And so the game is really good if you know, like, you're traveling to an event. Like, the summer started off for us for me going to my sister's graduation from high school. Yeah. And there was a ton of family members there, and we brought that game with us, and it was such a huge hit. Like, regardless of what age, I mean, you could be, like, a 10-year-old or younger up until, like, like a 90-year-old. Anybody can play that game as long as
Yeah.
they can speak the English language. Or I guess you can play this in any language as long as you have the box for it.
Yeah.
And so it was a great game. It went off so well. So this is all like one big party game. If you go into like a wedding or just some type of big event like a graduation,
Yeah.
definitely recommend doing that at number 8. Then at number 7, going from a big play account all the way to the smallest play account. Well, I guess solo is the smallest play account. But this 2-player play account, Radlands, which you guys know I enjoy. I'm pretty good at it. I have lost against it online against Sam. But it was online. It wasn't in person. So I still think I'm undefeated. No. So Sam won, and that was a battle. Like, we went on for it was nearly an hour playing that game. We went through almost the whole deck. Yeah, it was insane. I made one crucial mistake that lost me the game. Anyway, how Radlands works out, it's a lane battle where you have 3 lanes, and in each of those lanes you have a base. And so the other players are trying to destroy your base while you're trying to kill their bases. You do that by playing out people who can do damage, heal each other up, and so it's constantly going back and forth doing that. I won't go into all the minor details about it, but if you haven't played a lane battle before, I would say this is a good one to get into, and it's so thematic. Like, this game, the artwork is thematic. Everything makes sense in how this game would work out, because it's post-apocalyptic type. It's like Mad Max, but with people. And it's kind of weird, because now we have another game that we're comparing to Mad Max with
Cars.
Thunder Road, and that's just cars. This is more like, my game versus your game and the post-apocalyptic, and let's see who wins. Yeah. So it's really fun game for 2 players. If you like confrontation, if you hate confrontation, I mean, that's the whole game. You will not like this game. So just saying.
Or you might not want to play it if you're playing it against the one who claims to be the undefeated champion of Radlands.
Obviously, I'm not the undefeated champion, but I do think I'm pretty good at it. So that's Radlands at number 7.
All right, number 6 is Big Top. Big Top we talked about in the last couple videos.
Yeah, we just got that. It's one of the most recent ones.
And it hopped right onto our list. It is in one of these small boxes, so it's super easy to carry around.
Yes. And it's a big game in a tiny box. I think that's how they market it. Small box, big game.
Boom. There it is.
Uh-huh.
So it is an auction bidding game, circus theme. So everyone has money and you go around, everyone bids on the different cards. And it has a cool mechanism where you have to bid certain amounts and cover up numbers on your cards that you have in front of you in order to actually get points from those cards. So it encourages you to keep bidding on all the cards and not just go for the big ones and not get any other ones other than that. So yeah, it's fun. Devin loves this game.
I really do. Like, Mary Kate's talking about it, and I'm itching. I was like, man, I really want to play it right now. Kind of. It's really fun. It's a more compact modern art. And the modern art's not super big, so I think that might even categorize as a travel game. But this one's so easy, and also because it's only one auction type, where modern art has 4 different auction types.
Yeah.
And so you're just doing that same thing. So if you're traveling, usually you're gonna be playing with people who might not be board gamers, unless you're traveling to other board gamers. And so I think this is a great game. And thematically, it could be hit or miss for some people, but I think for most people, it'd be a pretty good hit. So definitely recommend Big Top. So on to number 5, which I bet this might be a lot of people's number 1s, Scout, which comes in a nice little compact deck. If you ever seen Oink games, it's that size box because it is an Oink game.
It's over there, but we don't have it.
We don't have it. I'm not going to go walk over there 2 feet to go get it for you. So Scout, pretty much what you're doing is you're playing down a card. It can be in the all valued. And so maybe I'm playing down a 2, and then the person next to me plays down a 3. And whenever you do that, you beat my card, so you take it in front of you and add it as a point. But you can also play down more than just single cards. You can play down a run, 1, 2, 3. And then you can take that point, or maybe you play down a set.
2, 2, 2.
2, 2, 2, and that would win that. Sets are bigger than runs. There we go. And then not only that, but also if you can't beat a set or a run or whatever you can't beat, you can actually do an action called scouting, where you take the card that was played down and add it to your hand. And in this game, the card has 2 different values on it, one on the bottom, one at the top. And so you get to add it to your hand and place it any way you want.
And that's important because in Scout, once you get your hand of cards, you cannot rearrange it. So if I have a 2 here, a 2 here, and a 2 here, I can't play them as a set of 3 2s. They have to all be next to each other. So it makes this scouting action where you can take the card you want and put it beside any card you want to put it beside a really key part.
Because once it's set, it's set. You can't move around after that. And so that what makes this game like set apart. That, and then I think the scouting action that you can flip around the card and add it in whatever way. So that's a really fun game. It is a blast. You definitely, I would say, not want to play it with 2 to 3 people. I would say you want to play it with 4 to 5.
Yeah.
But you can play it with less people. And so it's a good game to teach to older people or younger, because it's pretty easy to comprehend as long as you've played cards before.
Yeah.
So definitely like Scout a lot. I think we're not as high on it as other people, but obviously we still really like it. So that's our number 5, top 5. So boom, Scout.
So number 4 on our list is a game that I love a lot, which is Arboretum.
Mm-hmm.
So Arboretum is also, I suppose it is set collection.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Where you have trees, different colored trees, and they all have numbers on them. And so you're laying them out in an arboretum in front of you, and you have to create lines going in ascending order. But they don't just have to be all of one color.
Yeah.
You get bonuses if they're all of one color, but you could have, as long as you start and end with the same type of tree, then you can score that row.
Mm-hmm.
So it still has that same mechanism of being able to, of discarding cards and your opponent being able to pick cards up out of your discard pile.
Yeah.
But the way that you score the sets is unique, and I really enjoy kind of the puzzle of putting them out in front of you in your arboretum.
And it is so much game in a tiny box. Like it's a difficult game for sure. And I think it's a little bit of a difficult game to teach. You wrap your mind around how the scoring works.
We played it wrong for so long, and then we realized how to actually play it, and that screwed with my head so much.
And I still feel like
I didn't want to play it for a little bit because I was like, everything I thought was a lie.
And I still feel like it's possible that we might be playing it wrong. But Arboretum's really fun. It definitely, for people who really want like really crunchy thinking, that game gives it to you for sure. It's a brain burner. So Arboretum is our number 4. Number 3. There we go. Number 3 almost flipped you off there. It is Boop, which May Kate wanted a ton, and we went to Origins and they had some copies, so we got it. We got it. I mean, of course, it's cat themed, just like our cats. I was like, I don't know if I'll play it because it looks cute, and I played it. It is such a good game. It is so good. And I think that theme really helps out a ton, because abstract games, you don't need a theme, but anytime you add theme to a game, it makes it stand out, and I think that's what that does for Boop.
Yeah.
And so pretty much you're just putting cats out on a quilted bed where you use the box as kind of the board.
The bed. So it looks like a little bed with a little blanket on top where you're putting the cats.
And
you boop.
And whenever you put like a kitten next to a kitten, the kittens can be next to each other, so they boop the kitten to another quilted area. And that's the same for like cats. When you put down a cat, it boops the kitten or other cats off of the off the bed or on other places. But kittens can't boop cats because cats are bigger than kittens. Yep. Makes sense? I hope it does. And so it's our only abstract game. It comes in a very compact box, and it is really fun. It is really good. And it's so easy to bust out like 4 or 5 games back to back to back. Yeah. Where you're just constantly just playing, because they last from like 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. Super short.
Super short.
I am not very good at this game, but I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, you finally won though.
I did. Yeah. It took like 11 tries or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a little bit. But yeah, so this game, it was definitely I think more towards my mind, maybe, that game. But I was playing against your dad, actually, last night, teaching it. Yeah. And I can tell he's better than me at it. It was the first time he played. Oh. Because he would just stay there, think about it for a nice like 5 minutes, and then does his move. And I was like, he's setting himself up. And I'm just like, automatically place it down just to move all the cats around.
And then you're like, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. So that's Boop, number 3.
And number 2 is a game you have heard us talk about a decent amount. Mm-hmm. Village Rails. Yep. I love this game.
Comes in a nice little chunky board box.
Cute.
It's so cute.
And it's just a nice little tableau building train game where you have your 2 sides and you're adding in rail cards to complete trips, to make objectives, to get points. Mm-hmm. And it's It's a lot of game in a little box.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. It's not really that stressful of a game, but it does require a good bit of thinking if you're wanting to plan out your routes.
Yeah. And it's like, again, this Big Top and maybe like Land vs. Sea is probably the most board game feel that we have out of this, but because all the other games are like card games or party filling games. And so this game definitely is the most board gamey board game, if that makes sense.
Even though it's all cards.
Even though it's all cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just a tableau builder and you're trying to make it as many routes as possible, right? Yeah. And with the most points possible. It's a lot of fun. Definitely. Lot of fun. If you want a crunchy game in a small box, that'd be the one for sure. Village Rails.
And our number 1,
Cat in the Box. So, what's up with all these cat themed games? I want more dog themed games. What we got? We got Dog Lover and a Dog Park, and that's all I know. It's all cats. Our board game people have to be cat people? Because I'm not.
You're allergic.
I'm
Cats
allergic.
Hate you.
They hate me.
Well, they love you, but they hate you.
I think it's the hate, and they know it. They know it. Anyway, Cat in the Box, though, is a... what I'm forgetting, the trick-taking game and an area control game
at the same time.
And it has another mechanic that I have no idea to talk about or how to describe it, where all the cards are blank. What?
They have numbers, but their suit is blank.
The suit is blank. So you don't actually, whenever you play down the card, that's whenever you claim what color it is. Because in front of you, you have like a little player board that can be red, green, I forget all the colors. It's been a while. Red,
yellow.
Green, blue, yellow, something like that. And so whenever you play it down, you get to say, oh, it is green. And whenever you say it's green, you add it to a little central board that claims that green forever. Because say if you play down 3 green, you play down a little piece to say, oh.
No one else can make their 3s green because the 3 of green has already been
existed. Because it's all based off of Schrodinger's cat, where like you put a cat in the box and then you see if it's still alive within 30 minutes to an hour.
And it has a 50% chance of being alive, 50% dead. So until you look at it, according to quantum physics, it's like half dead and half alive.
Yeah, and so that's the same way. When you don't get to know if there's actually a 3 green in play or in the deck until you actually play it.
Yeah.
For example. And so it's really cool because whenever you play it, that's really cool. It's trick-taking because you're trying to get the most cards possible in order to score points. But also that whenever you play it down in that main central area board, it's also a little bit of an area control game because if you get more of your pieces connected to each other,
you get more points.
You get more points. So it has like 3 unique things in this game that makes it really attractive. I really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Mary Kate does too. I think it's probably our favorite trick-taking game as of right now.
Yeah.
It has a lot going on for it. But again, if people have played trick-taking games before, like I have family members who really just don't care for board games or that they don't have much experience with board games, but they have experience with trick-taking games and they pick up on it pretty fast.
Yeah.
So definitely Cat in the Box. Comes in a nice box. Love it. Recommend it as our number 1 travel game. And really, all these games are super close to each other. Yeah. I mean, it's just based off of what we're feeling at the time. Because, I mean, we've played Boop a ton, and we haven't played Cat in the Box in forever. But I still love Cat in the Box. So, yeah. I think that's our list. So, until next time, guys, we value all of you. And if we had a chance, we would love to play board games with every single one of you. So, see ya. Bye.
Bye.